Oh, Jesus, this wasn't recording. We had to start
Ah,
in the beginning.
Noelio, yo también estaba cuadrando aquí, André. Entonces, súper. Con eso me dejas cuadrar aquí la luz.
Dice, Adri, no te preocupes. I'm sweating because it's super hot. It's 93 degrees. And I had to close my door. And this is not like a AC unit that you get your air private in the room. No, we have to
Okay.
share the air with the common places in the house. So I have to close the door because I have cats. And
Oh, I
they
see.
jumping in the
Sure.
So I'm going to put another stuff here. There you go. And I would like to introduce you, Jean Jimenez, bassist, musician. You have an amazing project, Soul Disease, and you have other side projects, I believe. You have a lot to tell me.
I have, yeah. Thanks for having me here, Andrea. I have had, let's say, the opportunity to play with a lot of metal bands in Colombia. I'm currently doing the bass guitar for Soul Disease. That's one of my projects, and also Okinawa Bullets. And yeah,
Okinawa bullets, and it's totally different the genre from Okinawa to Soul Disease. Let's talk about the difference between those projects.
sure. We said we say that Soul Disease is like technical death metal, and Okinawa is a mix. I don't know if I can say that mix from hardcore, street metal, and hip hop.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's totally different, and
Yeah.
that shows that you are very do you say that polyphacetic? Yeah, to different projects, and you're very professional on that. That's very cool. Let's talk about a little bit of the art of the work art that I have here is wonderful. Who's the
Thank
design
you.
and how do you contact them?
I forgot the name of the illustrator, but if I am wrong, his last name is Mora, Julian Mora, I think.
Okay.
I'm not sure now, right now. He painted with, I don't know how to say, oleo.
Yeah. Oil.
Oil, yeah. He did that great work. A friend from another band worked with him, and he said, "This guy might work for your album art." And we contact him, and he did this, and we are glad because he let's say print what we wanted to have in our album.
Fantastic. Yes, this is very cool. And the music, I was listening to Downfall. It's
Great. Thanks for listening to it.
the presentation to your product, which is wonderful. Tell me, how's the story? How did you start into music? Like when you were a little child or later in life? How do you figure it out?
When I was like 6 years old, my mom went to work and my dad too. So in the house I was living in, there was a young boy, I think he was like 15, and he had a rock band. So he was like my nanny. I don't know how to say that for a man. Yeah. So I spent my afternoons with him, and I had to do my homework while he was rehearsing with the band at home. So I could say that I grew up listening to a lot of music because of him and also because of my family. When I went to the high school, I joined the group of the school. We play Andina music. I don't know how to say that.
Yeah, it's Andina music.
Yeah. Yeah. Then I started playing electric guitar back in like 1999. We started a band. There were no basses between the band members, so I turned into the bass player. I did not have a bass guitar, so I have to look for a friend who led me one to play.
And how old were you?
I was in 1999. I was 15 years old. I'm 40 already. I'm
Yeah,
old.
we're old.
We are, yeah, we are, but we don't look that old.
Yes, we
Yeah,
love because we do what we love.
yeah, yeah.
I think that's important to do what you love. So you started creating this group, and it was because of this person who take care of you, and he was doing these rehearsals. And how later in life you find out your genre or what band start you into the genre?
Yeah. Can you repeat?
Yeah, what
Yeah.
band did get you started, or what the first bands that you started listening?
Okay. Listening, I started listening to a lot of bands, several bands. Uh, when I was like 14, 15, I was living in the same neighborhood where purulent members live. So most of the people start like listening heavy metal, then thrash, then black, then maybe death metal. After that, grindcore or heavier stuff.
Yeah.
When I started listening to it, I jumped straight to the brutal death metal. They call that. So I was listening to Mortician, Cannibal Curse, Six Feet Under, Cryptopsy, and all those brutal bands. So the first band, I have two bands when I started playing. I have one that play, we said that we were grindcore. And also I had a band that we play rock. And that was how I started. I was listening to street metal and the old school rock bands like Led Zeppelin and all that stuff.
Yeah, that says a lot about your work because it has a lot of influence. And do you, talking about influence, do you have like an artist that inspires you that you believe that you begin thinking, I wanted to be like this guy?
Sure. I think I have many. I remember when I saw playing Tim Comerford, he was the bass player for Rage Against the Machine. I really love his style, his look, his energy. I also love how Chichen from Deftones play, Alex Wexter from Cannibal Corpse, Louis Johnson. He's a bass player within the funk music. And I say I wanted to look like Tim, but I want to play like Luis. Luis was a virtuoso. He was amazing. I think he's the best bass player in the world. So yeah,
Very cool.
those are like influences.
Mhm.
Talking about the bass.
Do you play any other instruments?
I do play the guitar. I play the a little bit the drums, and that's it.
Okay, that's more than I play. Don't play anything. I play the piano, but I stopped playing piano because I had an accident in my hand. I
Wow.
stopped playing piano when I was like 16, 17 on the guitar, and I didn't like return. I forgot about that, and I know that shouldn't be like that. But yeah,
Damn.
you have to return to play instruments. It's good to make your brain exercise a little bit.
Yeah, and that's great. As you said, a great word for the brain. I see that you have an acoustic guitar
Yeah.
back there. Is it yours?
Oh, it's my husband's. We don't know what to do with the poor guitar because the guitar is outside always near to the piano, but the cat jumps to the fridge and starts playing the guitar.
Damn.
He plays the guitar, and I have videos because no one's believed me that he plays the guitar. Yeah, so it was so fun. I'll say, oh yes, we were talking about Anaheim, that you came a couple times to the convention. Let's talk again about that.
Sure, I did. In 2015, I get I was sponsored by Michael Tobias Design. This is a brand dedicated to build bases.
Yeah.
I was an emerging artist. Then in 2017, I turned into artist. I was an artist for the C6 NTD Keystone base they made. I was on their web page. I could say that I was one of the first Colombian bases endorsed directly by the brand, but not by the Colombian dealer. So it was a great experience. They invite me to Anaheim. Being in Anaheim, I got the sponsor by Bartolini Pickups. They build electronics and hardware for, no, just electronics for basses and guitars. And I was also endorsed by them. And I was working with these two brands for 6 years. So being at Anaheim at the NAMM show was a pretty great experience because they say they invite or they take the best musicians from different instruments from the whole world to this convention. And I could say that I was one of them.
Wow. So cool. Very cool. So how long is all this is old? How old is
We will be 8 years this October, I think. Yeah, 80. We have been playing for 8 years. We feel like we are like a new band because during the pandemic time, how do I say fly in the past? Flew? Pass? Well, flew. Time flew.
Time
And
flies so fast.
yeah, and this project I started it with Alejandro, Mateo, and Sebastian and Oscar also. And I loved it because since we started, great teams came to the band. Our first show, we play as the opening act for Cradle of Field. So that was the experience.
Wow.
Then we play with Oscura from Germany. We play with Carnifex from USA. We have played with a lot of metal bands. So when you ain't asking me about it, but when you work with your heart and you invest everything, you get that stuff that we get.
Yeah. Wow. Very cool. This is awesome. You guys have any plans? Like, what's next for you?
Yeah, we were this morning talking about recording a new single and doing a new video. We have already 3 videos, one playthrough, also a live video, I think. So we want to like launch like
Launch.
a new video by the end of this year. So yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, we'll look forward to it. Very amazing. Who directs the videos on, or how do you find those directors, DPs, and all that? Like, you just call someone or friends, or
Well, the direction, well, the creative part, I would say that Alejandro always gives like the ideas of how he wants the video to be. And the production part, we always look for people who have worked with bands like within our circle that had a great that have shown great results, let's say.
yeah.
So we always have tried to look for the best ones. For example, our first video, in the end, we earned 3 awards in Europe.
Wow.
Yeah, because they were not about music, but the type of video.
Oh,
So you might check it later. It's a
I think
pretty
I
good
did.
one.
I think I did. I saw something on YouTube. It was like, oh,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool and well done.
Thanks a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, we have always tried our best to make a great video for people to know that here in Colombia we have great musicians and great metal products.
Yeah, amazing producers, amazing technicians, engineers, very talented people in Colombia. You are
Sure.
creating amazing stuff. And is has the public is any international public, or have you aim to get an international public?
Well, yeah, we have already tried that. There are copies from Dreamscape, our album, and around the world, a lot of people have sent us messages that they want us to visit their countries to play. And it is a little bit hard for us to, let's say, make a tour, but we want to. Last week I was talking to Chris. He told me something about related to play on the 70,000 tons of metal.
Wow.
So we have our electronic press kit, everything ready to send there. The only problem is that only half of the members own visa.
Yeah.
So we would have to look for session musicians to play there.
Oh, okay. Session musicians, yeah. And you guys were all the same together in the band? Or
Yes, we have a session drummer right now because Oscar is living in Pensacola in United States. I don't know which is the state. He is having some studies there, so he have to travel to study, but he is an active member. If we tour there, he will play. If we have a big show here, he will travel to play with us here. But yeah, we are the same member since our beginning.
well, that's something that I really admire in a band. I was telling Chris that it's really hard to have a band because it's like when you are married, like
It is.
all the discussion, all the disagreements or agreements or your final product, you are so careful that anybody else is going to touch that product. And like how to agree to disagree with other members. It's like a marriage. It's like
It
a
is.
corporation.
I will say that it is harder than being married, for real.
Yeah. Unless you get
mus-
married, you have some benefits.
yeah, yeah. I would say that we as an art, as musicians or artists, we have our, I won't say problems, but we have our ego,
Yeah.
and you're always dealing with five different people with different backgrounds. So it's pretty hard. But anyway, we have to do it. We have learned to deal with that. So that's why we're still playing.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sad that there's a lot of great projects that end, and that's really sad. I really admire when a band can keep some after COVID, after whatever, after you name it. I was thinking 8 years, so you guys lived COVID as well as band.
Yeah, we did. We record our second video, I think, or after COVID. Yeah, I think after COVID end. So we have to do the scouting with our mask on and everything.
That's crazy. Yeah, those times. I believe COVID was like something for artists to reflect, to look into in like an introspection of what it is about your career, and you have a lot of time to think, to think
Yeah,
what should I do with my life? What should I? And a lot of people started a lot of amazing projects during COVID, and the projects, existing projects, if not, they're done. They're projects that get stronger.
yeah.
I
For
will.
example, yeah. I was going to say that during COVID, I I create with a friend my other band, which is Okinawa Bullets. That band came from the COVID time. It was also a great band that has given us great experience. With Okinawa, last year we played Rock al Parque. We also play Manizales Grita Rock. We have played with bands such as On the Road, Skate the Faith, Carnifex 2 at the Prenoc Fest Paris. So if I could say one good thing that Kobe left to me, I would say Okinawa Bullets was or is.
Yeah, very fantastic. So this is the younger project. Is
It is, yeah.
doing great, advanced playing in Grita Rock and Rock al Parque and all that. Very good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
So my question is, I know it's hard to get drummers.
It
Drummers
is.
are like they have 10 projects at the same time. How was your experience finding the drummer?
You mentioned it. It's pretty hard. We have two session drummers. One of them is Enzo Martinez. He's amazing. We had a show last Saturday. He was going to play with us there, but like 2 weeks ago, a friend of us, Julian, called him up and say, "Hey man, we are playing Oxen Stream in Czech Republic next week. Our drummer wasn't able to make it, so can you like join us for the tour?" So he had to go. It was a great experience. So we had to contact another session drummer we had, and he was playing with another band that night. So it was like a headache. We have made auditions for drummers, but so this is like requires a lot of technique. And the few drummers available in the country already play, as you said, with 10 bands. So yeah, it's hard to find one free.
Right? I don't know why that is. I get it why, but it's fun. Everybody makes jokes about that.
Yeah,
They always make jokes about that. And well, let's talk about the experience that you had playing with, right?
we play with Cradle at Field. We
Okay.
play with Obscura from Germany. We play with Lepros from I forgot, they are like from Norway. I don't remember. We have played with Flesh Cat Apocalypse from Italy last year. We have also I have played with another bands such as Genetic Care or I have played with there are several like 40 bands. Let me
Yeah, think of that.
I have played with Victimize. I have played with Full Knife Injection, Implosion Brain, Cancerbero, and Tears of Misery, and well, there are a lot of bands. Ripping Flesh. I forgot them now. And with most of them, I have been as bassist for the opening act shows for band like Internal Bleeding from New York, The Hour Men from Texas, a lot of bands.
Awesome. Very cool. Very, very awesome. Yeah, I was checking the
Thank
information
you.
you sent me. I was like, yes, these guys are busy. It's very good. And
Thank you, Andre.
what is like an experience that you ever had on stage? Like a weird experience, funny that you ever had? Any experience or pretty
Yeah,
on
I,
stage?
I remember that I was playing with Cancerbero. We were the opening at for Gorguts from Canada. They play like technical death metal, and his guitar player, he plays classical music and all that stuff. And when we were playing, he stood up in front of me, and the whole show he was looking at me playing my bass. And I said, man, I screwed up everything. When I finished playing, he came to me and he said that I was the best bass player he had seen playing live. I couldn't believe that because I was thinking, man, I no sé cómo se dice haciendo el oso, but he mentioned that.
Okay,
So
I don't know how do you say that, but like I will say it look ridiculous. Probably I will say
yeah,
that.
yeah, something like that. And it was pretty good. And also, I have another, I would say the greatest experience that music has given me. I was at Anaheim talking to Andy Timmons. He's a guitar player, a famous one. I was asking him for a picture, and when we were speaking, Jennifer Batten was crossing us. Jennifer was the Michael Jackson's guitar player, the blonde girl with the well, and she knew Andy. So Andy said, "Hi Jennifer, how are you?" They started like having a small conversation, and then they say, "Look, he is Jan. We have a badge with our name. He's from Colombia. He played bass." And I was too excited because I love Michael Jackson. I say, Miss Batten, I'm your fan. I love your work, and I would love to have a picture. And she said, I'm in a hurry. I have like a performance right away at the Washburn booth. So if you want, you can go with me, and then we have the picture. So I say, sure. I took his guitar, and Andy went with her too. So when we arrived at the booth, it was Andy Timmons, Jennifer Baden, and myself. People was looking at me as if I were like a famous musician. I held her to plug his guitar. I saw the whole show, and it was the greatest experience. Then in 2018, that was in 2017, I went to the show again, and she recognized me, and it was pretty good. Tell this story to everyone because I really love it.
Very good, very good. And do you know, like, for any chance when they're gonna invite you over, like with time, or you just get the notice just like
I don't know.
they want you to go again, or they let you know like with time? How is that invite?
Okay, they sent an email like 4 months before the show.
Oh, okay.
They have it on every January at Anaheim. So by October, I get an email that says, Jan, would you like to join this winter show in Anaheim? When I saw that mail, I couldn't believe that because I have to say that I'm not the best bass player. I have a lot to learn. And there are musicians like Leonardo Guzman in Colombia. He's easily the greatest guitar player in America, I think. So when I saw him on videos playing at the show, when I saw the mail, I say I like Leo, but as bass player, that's incredible for real because they are very talented. I am not, but anyway, I'm going. When I went there, I was talking to the marketing director boss, and I say, I'm scared. I ain't that good at playing. And she said, Jean, listen to me. You are here. because you're a great bass player, not only because you're a good player, but also how you look, how you are. An artist is more than goes beyond playing. So yeah, it was pretty good.
Very inspiring.
Yeah, a lot.
Like a before and an after when you got something like that. Okay, I believe you. Yes, and it's good. I think we also wanted to talk about a little bit about the industry and how's the mental health. I would say there is a lot of ego involved, and it's a lot of that's the thing that we must have to fight in the industry, the ego.
Sure.
To tell you as an actress as well, there's a lot of people with ego. It's talented, and they're right to be. They have ego because they're good. But sometimes we have that imposter syndrome, like I'm not enough, like I'm not good. Sometimes we think about that.
Sure.
Mhm.
I used to think that about that most of the time, but when I had that experience with her, or as I mentioned, when I was playing in front of this bass player, I started, like, let's say, believing in myself. But I have still a lot of things to work on. When you say mental health, I would say that we as an artist, most of the people within this industry had a lot of mental issues, things related with depression and all that stuff, because they say that we are too sensible, too
People.
que los artistas son demasiado sensibles, somos muy, like, too emotional, something like that. So yeah, I have a psychologist, and also I'm with in psychiatric therapy right now. So yep,
No, that's good that to look for help on everything. I
yep,
believe I'm a truly believer that everyone has to go through a therapist and to go through
sure.
therapy is very necessary. People say, "Ah, but I'm okay, I'm fine, I don't have anything." People think that you have to be cuckoo in order to have a therapist, and it's not like that.
No, it ain't like that. It is. We need that. That's like going to the doctor for a check-in session. Yeah,
That's true. And tell me about your love life. You guys travel and have a lot of tours, and you guys are busy. How do you manage your private life? How do you manage? How do you juggle?
yeah. Well, I have had also the chance of playing in United States. I went with Genetic Ecuador. We played there. By that time, I didn't have a couple.
Okay.
When I went to play to Ecuador, or when I went this year to play at Brazil, my girlfriend, she knows how I love music. She understands it. She said that she trusts in me, or trusts me.
Yeah.
And I'm always in, like, chatting or in contact. I don't drink and I don't smoke.
You don't?
I
That's why
I
you're
just,
so young.
sure, maybe, but I eat a lot. I love going to restaurants and eating. So I was most of the time, like, sending pictures and letting her know what I was doing. Anyway, she say, "Have fun, enjoy your shows, meet people, and all that stuff." When I'm able to take her, I'll take her. But when I'm not, like in this case of Brazil, she understood, she supported me, and here we are.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah,
And you have any plans to probably settle down or moving with her or something, or like have no plans yet? You haven't think about that.
yeah, we have talked about it. We would love to, but it takes time. Yep.
But yeah, take your time. Definitely not rushing anything and get to know each other, have fun, keep doing your music, keep doing your stuff. And whenever you feel like the need to settle down, you're gonna feel it, you're gonna follow your heart.
Sure, I
Yeah,
will.
yeah, certainly. And so you how about your friends? Is your best friend into metal?
Yeah, most of my friends, they're into it. Some of them play with different bands. Some of them are like photographers, illustrators. tatuadores, tattooers,
Tattoo, yes, tattoo artist.
tattoo artists. Yeah, yeah, most of them. So when we have a birthday celebration to see a game plan, we are always talking about music. Yep.
Always breathe and eat music. Yeah.
Yeah, we love it. We love music. I love music. I have to listen to it every day in the morning, at work, at night, on weekend, with my girlfriend in the car, everywhere.
Yeah.
Live for it.
Tell me how it's like a normal day. You woke up, you do what, you start what, and how do you finish your day?
Yeah.
Busy
Most
day.
of the weekdays, I go to the gym at 6 in the morning. Then I return home. I have breakfast. Then I go to work. I work until 5, 6 in the afternoon. Some when I have a rehearsal, we rehearsal from 6 to 8 or from 8 to 10. When I don't have a rehearsal, I go to my girlfriend's house or I go to my house to listen to music, or I visit a friend, or I go to have some dinner with friends, and that's basically it. Workout, work, my girlfriend, and music. That's it.
That's that's life.
Yeah.
What do you do for working for living? Because most of the musicians that I know, that I've been talking with a lot of musicians, and most of them are very popular, but even though they have day jobs, so they play
Yeah.
the music, but they also have day jobs. So what is your job?
Mhm. I own a small company, and we manufacture tow trucks. I sell tow trucks. Yep.
Very cool. Awesome. All right.
Thank
So,
you.
man, what else can we tell you about life and doing music, doing what you love, and about the compositions? You write your music? I mean, you write your own music, you write your own lyrics?
We as bands, we do everything, but we also have producers. In this case, with Soul Disease, most of the music was written by Mateo Bejarano. Most of the lyrics were written by Alejandro Gonzalez, the vocalist. And in Okinawa Bullets, we also, let's say, have ideas. The drummer writes the drums, the me as bass player, I create my bass lines, and the vocalists, they create the lyrics.
Mm.
We share within our WhatsApp group, and we decide what we will choose to print in our next track or something like that. But yeah, we do. But we have producers. I think that they are pretty important. Most of the musicians, when you mention, hey, there is a producer that can improve your work, they get mad, they hate that, they say that they are good enough, and producers exist because we need them.
True.
Yeah.
Can do anything about that, yeah. And it's like when you your family, what they say about you being a metalhead, and how was that experience? Because you know what, Colombia is like a very Catholic country, and most of our families are not into metal. This is
Yes, they are not.
with metal in Colombia.
In my case, I have three sisters. The youngest one, she has supported me since I was a kid. But in my mother, she's Christian, so it's been hard for her, like supporting my metal bands. But anyway, she like respects everything I do. When she watches our videos, or when she saw me on the TV playing at Rock al Parque, she say, "Oh, you look great. I didn't know you did this or that." My dad, when we were younger, he took me to a lot of shows, and he joined us, and he saw us playing, and he also drunk with my band members. So it's great. They, let's say, accept my love for music.
Yeah, very good. Oh, that's very fantastic. What high school you went to?
I went to a high school called Juan del Corral. It's a public high school.
Oh, Juan de Corral. Where it was located by the 80?
Yeah, that one. Did you know it?
I think probably. Is it just for boys or is mixed?
It's mixed.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my school was mixed too. Okay, because there's
Okay.
schools that are only like male or
Yeah,
female.
sure. No, it wasn't.
Catholic schools. There's everything in Colombia. And yeah,
Yeah.
I believe that this story is very wholesome for me. Everything that I know about you, checking all your pictures, checking all your work. This is amazing. Thank you so much for this gift. I try to show it as much as I can because I think it's a beautiful thing. Really well done.
Probably.
But I will say, what are like the meaning topics that you guys talk about in your music?
Okay. In Soul Disease, most of the lyrics written by Alejandro, they're about self-esteem, like mental issues too, but from a positive perspective. And in Okinawa Bullets, the main topic is like life ain't that bad, and we are like warriors, and we have to fight to achieve what we want. In Okinawa Bullets, we have a lot of Japanese philosophy.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's it.
I gotta check it out. I haven't had the chance to listen to Okinawa Ballets, and definitely worth checking out. Yeah,
Okay.
I have all the notes here to check bands that I have to check in Colombia. There is a bunch of bands that I haven't had the chance. And how's this new Rock al Parque? Are you guys going to be playing with Okinawa or with Seoul?
We played last year.
Late last year. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It was great.
Yeah, I bet those experiences with international musicians and like you share your stage with these amazing people, right? There's
Yeah.
all right.
We did. Being in front of that
Yeah,
quantity of people. I don't know if I could say that.
yeah, you can.
Being on a band, backstage, having food, it's great. It's like a rock star experience that most of musicians should most experience. I'll say, yeah.
Yes. Also, a good thing about all that is that you guys have friends who support you and help you out with the career, like creating this stuff. And like it's one thing is knowing you do music and creating the music, and other thing is promoting yourself outside, like in the effort to socials and all that. How do you find different from the 90s to nowadays stuff? How would you compare?
Well, it is easier now. I remember that, like in 2001, I love Devourman. He is a slamming brutal death band from Texas, and I sent email to the band to get a copy of one of their albums. Now you just have to go to any social media, and it's easier to spread your music, even that there are a lot of bands in the world. And as you said, like friends, we have a lot of friends. I really thank you for spreading our word with your sign. And we as musicians, we have to like create a chain, a cadena to, yeah, like spread our work. We have behind Soul Disease and Okinawa Bullets, there are photographers like Chris. There are graphic designers, illustrators, studio engineers, mixing engineers, roadie, metalheads, promoters, and a lot of people that give us a hand to like keep our work floating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. And you guys are going to play soon any shows in Bogota or anything? As all this is?
Yeah. No, we won't. I will be playing with Okinawa Bullets. We're going to be playing with Landmarks on September the 29th. They are from France. They are a great band. We will be the opening act for them. We also be playing on August 19th, I think, with Felix Martin. He's a guitar player. He's awesome. He played with a two, I forgot how to say mastil, two neck guitar with 16 strings.
Wow.
He's so talented. We will be his opening act too. So these are the only two shows I have by now. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have a bunch of like your conventions or what is that?
Oh yeah, I have this from shows and conventions too.
Uh-huh.
For example, this one was when we play with Havoc,
Very cool.
and I have an old one. I think this one has like 20 or more years.
Wow.
These ones are from Anaheim.
Uh-huh. I
When I
recognize
was
that ones.
at the NAM show, and yeah, this one was when we played with Internal Bleeding from New York and the government. I play with Cuentos de los Hermanos Grind too.
Oh, very cool.
This one with Okinawa. This one we play at the Media Torta. Well, there are plenty. Yeah.
Talking about plenty. Tell me how's the scene right now? Like I moved 14 or 13 years ago from Colombia. I have
Wow.
no idea whatsoever how's the scene. So introduce me to the new scene because I don't know anything about new venues.
Well, there are now great venues here to play. Ace of Space is one of them. We have a great scenario, an awesome byline, great PA system. They have also a LED screen, a big one. This venue is like for 300 people. There is also another one which is called Relevant Shows. It's a good one too. It's in Chapinero. There is a new one. It's Capital Live Concert. It's on the 7th Avenue with 40 something. The scene, like Sena, stays the same. The old people listening to the same old metal, black people within the black scene. They are still listen to black. They are still too radical. They hate everyone, and there are no more. There are no. I would say you don't see rude boys now. There are not people like listening to ska.
Yeah, it was something that it was like from the 90s and that's it.
Yeah, they like disappear. The hardcore scene is the same. Death metal people at the shows are the same public that you saw on a Bogota Grinded Fest 20 years ago. When you go to Local Parque, there are new young people attending, but I think that we as metal community, we are like losing. Now there is a corriente and a stream with modern metal or gen metal. There are new bands within this scene. They are great musicians, but they've moved between metal and electronic music.
No way.
Yeah. And for example, the gothic scene,
Yeah, I got it.
it ain't that big as it was before. Maybe get old, they got old, and but yeah, that's how it is.
Okay, so it's pretty much normal, same people with the same elitisms.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what to say about the scene here in Los Angeles because I live in a suburb and it's like 30 minutes from the city and like 20, 30 minutes from Burbank, from everywhere. This is like a suburb and it's the valley and it's super hot. Jesus Christ,
Wow.
it's even hot than Los Angeles. It's even hot than the beach. The closest beach here is like 40 minutes probably. And
Okay.
when I have to go to like a show, as I was telling my friend the other podcast, I have to obviously have a car, and I don't. My husband drives, and he gives me ride wherever I need. But I don't drive, and it's really hard going by myself to the shows, to the festivals, to the metal concerts. The metal shows are like Inglewood, like Indio, California, far away.
I
And
know.
I didn't have the chance to consolidate like a friendship with people in the scene per se.
And that's
Have
sad.
friends like that here. Like all my friends are all around the world. I have a friend in Russia who is owner of a label company, and he sends me bands and we interchange and all that. But I didn't have like a close friend nearby to, hey, let's gonna blast some metal or something. No, I don't.
Damn.
All my friends are far away.
And is your friend maybe Dima from Coyote Records? No.
No, my friend is called Alexei and is from Satanat Records. It's like
Wow.
metal, death metal, blackened metal, thrash. They have all that.
Oh, cool. Great. Great, great, great. I know, I know that that living in the States, it's people think it's as easier as it is here to go to a country or something, but everything's too far. I know. That's sad.
That's it.
Anyway, thanks to internet, you are like able to interact with people from the whole world. And whenever you come to Colombia, you know that you can join us, and you're our friend. And
Yeah, I would like to go to one of your rehearsals, guys. That would be fantastic.
whenever you can come, you're more than welcome to join us.
Thank you so much. Where do you live? My
I,
family lives by Suba. They're located by Suba. We used to live by the Ochenta, and now everybody is living in Suba, I believe. Suba,
okay.
near to the Imperial Plaza.
Oh, we live near there. I
Oh.
live near the 86th Street or Avenida Cali
Mm.
with 66th Street. So, yeah, let me know when you come with your husband to Bogota. We
Yeah.
will look for a concert, and it will be great to have you here.
My
Sure.
husband is non-metalhead, but he is very supportive and he's very pragmatic when it comes to give you a feedback. So
Great.
he does like rock music and classic rock and other genres, but he's not like a metalhead person.
I see. Okay, okay, okay.
But we took him too. Okay.
Sure.
Um, I was those are basses that you have in the bag.
Yes, they are. They are bass guitars.
So those are the brands that you promote.
Yeah, the yellow ones on the sides, they are the brand I was endorsed by. Yeah, they're six-string bass guitars.
Very cool.
Yeah, and also these electronics. They are from the other brand I told you that was sponsoring me.
Awesome. Very cool. So
Thank
yeah,
you.
that's life pretty much. So for the visa situation is for the 70,000 medal. You guys are waiting for that. For the visa situation, probably for the session musicians to join that festival, to that cruise.
I have a 70,000 times they don't help you to get your visa. They they tell you that you have to have your visa. So in my case, I have it. Another band member has it, and we it's a long process. We have to say everything that we want to be on board, and we have a friend working with them who is like giving us a hand when they say, "Okay, you are part of the cruise." We will contact session musicians. I have a lot of musicians whom are friends and live there. So we are just waiting for them to tell us if we are allowed to play on board.
That will be fantastic. That will be such an experience for you guys.
It would be a dream too, yeah.
Yeah, any looks on, for example, any festival that you have in mind, international festival that will be your dream?
Yeah, there are plenty. We would love to play Resurrection Fest in Spain with Okinawa Bullets, and we would love to play also Brutal Assault or Obscene Stream in Czech Republic. Any of those shows would be awesome.
Those are great shows. Download. What is the another one? Steel Fest.
Back in, or Maryland X Fest would be great too.
Go one of those shows. Can you believe I never go to one of those? I wanted to have this experience of the load and the mud
Yeah,
and the camping and stuff. I don't know if I'm too old for that shit, man, but I would like to have that experience just because to go and watch and see all these bands in this mud.
I have thought about that,
Mhm.
and I think it's pretty hard, like sleeping in a camping, no shower, the mud, and all that stuff will be pretty hard.
Yeah.
I have said I'm too old for that too, but 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 we have to live it. We have to try it at least once, and then we will see if we would love to attend again one
Yeah.
of these shows. Yeah.
Yeah, and for you guys, it should be totally different as the public has.
Oh,
Um,
sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah,
I
sure.
think I will do that if I have like I will pay my hotel and my room and stuff.
Yeah,
Spend a lot of money because you have to spend a lot of money for a walk-in, definitely.
yeah,
I don't know. I'm thinking about doing that inversion someday in my life. But
sure,
experience that you have to have as a bit
sure.
well, right? Like would be great for you guys if you get one of those international festivals. And like I was talking to a friend the other day, and he said, everything right now we have aim for international, because sometimes like there is a saying, tú no eres profeta en tu propia tierra, sometimes.
Yeah, he
So
was
you have
right.
to aim international.
Sure. I would like to have a parenthesis.
Yep.
If you are able to go to any of those shows, it will be awesome for you to have like your podcast there because you do an awesome job, Andre, for
Oh,
real. And I know that people will love to like share with you, and it will be great
yeah,
for
oh,
real.
fantastic. I'm thinking long term this show. So I wanted to like celebrate after probably 1 year or something, wanted to do something crazy. We are going to record the very first in-person podcast on Chicago the next week. Yeah, the next week. So it's gonna be my first experience in person, because it's easy to do it in the computer because I have all the settings and the Zoom and I can edit here. But when you are in person, you have to check the sound and everything else, and it's sort
Yeah,
of
I know. Are we allowed to know who are you having as guest next week in Chicago, or we have to wait for the podcast?
Fabio Leon has a band que se llama Favelas. It was the first band that I heard from. It was a project that is like a mix with Imagine Santana, something like Santana. They
Okay,
had this
cool.
project very good, and he was like the fan, and they gave us the shirts and everything, and
Wow,
we became friends because of that. And I told him, "Hey,
great.
Metalhead, what do you do besides this project?" And he said, "I have a project. It's called man, I forgot the name of the project, man. I had it in the la punta de mi lengua, lo tengo.
Yeah,
But when I found it, I'm gonna send it to you so you can give it a listen.
great.
It's very
Is
cool.
he is he Brazilian or something? No.
I believe he's American, but his parents are Mexican.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Flavio. And we're gonna be probably jamming live and everything. So I don't
Oh,
know
great.
about that podcast. I'm
Okay.
really excited. So
Okay.
yeah.
So
And you told me that you went out this weekend. Where do you?
this weekend we I said we have okay, yeah. We went near here to Achoque. We went to have lunch. We went to watch the World Cup final, the soccer game, and yeah, that was it.
Mm, you Suachoque was the name? Suachoque.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's a small town, like 1 hour and a half away from here.
Oh yeah.
It's beautiful.
That's something I really love from Bogota when you are tired of the fast-paced environment and the stress in the city. You just
Yeah,
no way to 1 hour away, and you are in another different place and a warm,
yeah,
it's relaxed place. Yeah, that's what I love about Bogota. I love. Mm.
yeah, yeah. You can go anywhere, have a merengon in the afternoon.
Merengon. Merengon. I don't know how to call that in English, merengon, but it's like inside is soft and outside is crunchy. And
It
it's
is, yeah.
so that's my description. And it has fruits on it. And yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of the things that I used to love when I was in Bogota a lot. And what else can I tell you about my experience as a metalhead here in Chicago? I went to the Riot Fest. I didn't have
Which
the Riot Fest.
Riot Fest? Okay.
And there is other called Ruido Fest that is more Latino, but
Yeah.
the Riot Fest Slayer went perform when they were doing their last tour. So that was
Great.
the last time that I saw Slayer in Chicago, like before COVID, 2019.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really festival.
Oh, it's a great festival. I love that festival. I almost get kicked in the mosh pit. I have to move.
Sure, that's part of the experience.
Is part of the experience. Yes, certainly. So yeah, and well, that's it pretty much. I'm gonna do a little summary of what we talk about. We practically talk about your life, and I investigate your life.
It's
We
okay.
talk about Soul Disease, Okinawa, your experiences with Anaheim, getting to know the musician, Michael Jackson's musician, all these amazing experiences. What piece of advice would you give to the people who is starting into the music business, regardless metal or whatever genre?
Oh, I didn't think about this type of question. But I would say that I'm so like working, always give the best, having a project or a band like life. You have to be right. You don't have to do like tricks or to be sneaky to get things. You just have to do good things and good things will come to you. Don't like don't no compitas. Don't
Yeah,
with others. Yeah. Dream of it. I always love music and I would have never thought about playing with these bands, being in Anaheim, having an interview with you here, or things like that. Yeah, you never think about it because, as we already said, that we never believe in ourselves. So believe in yourself, keep working. That anytime soon, good things will go, or will arrive to your project. That's it.
and be patient, right? Because sometimes
Sure.
people wants to get money, like earning from the music right away, and it's not.
No, it ain't that easy. And if you start like doing metal music for the money, the path would be like too long to get that. So be patient, as you said, and try to find something besides money that makes you love what you do, because you will find like piedras en el camino, stones, yeah,
Yeah,
things like that.
obstacles. Yeah.
So your love for the music, let's say, if the people who is starting a band or something, the love is what will like hold you, lo que te sostendrá during that process. So yep, that's my humble advice.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful piece of advice because people tend to look for the money in this industry, and you have to do a lot of invest first.
Sure,
Invest a lot.
you invest more than you earn. So
Yeah, that's true. And when you have to take care of your instruments and everything is un gasto. Everything is
it
un
is.
gasto. And sometimes
It's
people is expecting to get money from this and get frustrated in the middle of the way and turn to.
sure. I would like to add something to what I said.
Yeah.
Most of the musicians that succeed in music nowadays, it's related to only music, but it ain't. There are some stuff behind, like how your band look, how your videos are, how your social media is, where do you play, what gear you use. You need to look pro and be pro to be pro. You can expect to be touring or playing in front of thousands of people if you don't invest in in a good product in your band. People need to think about it, because there are, yeah, musicians with a big ego. They say, I play faster, I play heavier, but everything is rosca, and it ain't rosca, it is hard work. So yeah,
Elitism. Yeah, I will say elitism. No, I will say rosca. I will say rosca.
that would be like, if you are not into
Privilege.
the,
The privilege.
yeah, if you don't have like contacts, you won't get anything. And it ain't about that, it is about doing good work. Yeah.
Fantastic. Right. I think it was such an interesting conversation, Jean. Thank you so much for giving me your amazing time and telling me all these amazing stories. I can't wait to hear more about you and your projects, and can't wait to see you in the 70,000 tons on metal and walking, whatever. And hopefully we can find each other, bump into each other in Bogota. Probably next
Sure.
traveling. I don't know.
Sure, sure. No, thanks for having me here again, Andrea. It really means a lot to me as musician that someone like you have me here talking about what I have been able to do. And sure, let me know whenever you visit Bogota, we might attend any show
Yeah.
together. Sure. Thank you. And I apologize for the people listening to it or watching for
No,
my English. I
no,
haven't.
it's gonna have subtitles
Oh,
and
great.
it's gonna have, yeah, no worries. It's,
Okay, great. Great.
so
So,
you can, but this is Voices with Andreanet. You can listen to us in all the platforms. It's gonna be in Amazon Music. It's gonna be on iHeartRadio. It's gonna be on Apple Podcasts. It's gonna be on Spotify, and
great.
it's gonna be on YouTube.
YouTube.
Um,
Yeah.
so we are everywhere. Yes, the aim to grow up, and looking forward to find more amazing artists like yourself to share these stories and to have deep conversations. That's my motto. And that's
Great.
it. Thank you so much. I'll see you around, and let's keep in touch.
Sure. See you, Andre. Thank you.
Yeah, sure.